we're going to do now is we're going to talk about Pro Tools in MIDI. And so I've made I'm going to make a new session here, create a new session. I'm going to call it Pro Tools MIDI 2010 W12, which is your class number. And I'm going to go down here and go to File Type, Wave, Sample Rate 44.1, Bit Depth 24 bits, I/O settings. We're going to say Stereo Mix, and it's going to put it into my Pro Tools projects. Yep, that's fine. Hit Create. And now, whoops, I know. Now we've got our session here. I'm going to go ahead and just open this up a little bit so I can just see if y'all are going to ask me any questions or not. All right. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you how to stick a MIDI instrument on here. And this is really easy. All we do is we go to Track, New Track, and in here, we're going to make a new stereo track because these are always going to be stereo. And we're going to make an instrument track. Now there are options here. There's one here called a MIDI track, and your first inclination might be to go to a MIDI track. I'll show you how that changes here, everything in just a second. But first we're just going to do an instrument track, and we're going to give it a name, call it drums. And I'm going to hit Create. Now I've got an instrument track here. It looks just like an aux track. Actually, it looks more like an audio track. But up here, where it says Inserts A through E, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to set Multi-Channel Plugin, Instrument, and I'm going to get some drums. Let's go. I'm going to go with battery. Well, do I boom? I boom here. Boom. Boom is what you're going to use in your stuff, so that's why I'm going to use boom right now. So when I do that, it brings me up a plugin here, and this plugin is my boom synth. Yeah, thanks, Smalls. Hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, no, I'm recording. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so here's the kick, snare, all this stuff here. There may be a little bit quiet right now. I'm just going to turn up my level right here so we can. There we go. Okay, cool. So what I can do in here now is I can just go in here. I can switch back to my track over here, and I can make it a beat. I'm just going to zoom in here. Let's make a. We're just going to do like this, and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to make a beat directly on the screen right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my grid to 1/8 notes. That's fine. Put it into absolute grid. Go over here to where it says clips. I'm going to change that to notes. And now you can see I've got a piano keyboard here on the left-hand side right here in the start of the track. This is what we call a piano roll. The piano roll has different notes and notes on it, and if I grab it and move it around right here, I can now, if I click on it, I can play those notes. So I've got all those notes there. So what I can do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. I can do that right up here in the upper left-hand corner with this one here, MIDI zoom in. Click on that. There we go. And if I just want to put a note in, I just double click. Boom, it puts a note in right there. Now, if I have this note here, if I hold down Command and click on it, see that number that just appeared? It's going to appear right here. If you look at my screen, it's going to appear right here. Boom. I click and drag that up. There we go. Oops. Hold on, let me change this number here. There we go. So the shortcut that I used to make the clip. So I did like an interesting shortcut here, Joe. What I did was, what is up, Raheem? What are you saying, Candy Girl? What I did was I highlighted it like this, and I used Option Shift 3 to make that MIDI clip right there. Oh, what's up, Staffo? How you doing? All right, Option Shift 3. Richards, there you are. Cool. So inside this MIDI clip, now I can go ahead and put notes in here. You don't actually need the MIDI clip. If you don't want to use if you don't want to put the MIDI clip in first, if you're just doing everything right here in this window, I can just go ahead and put it in notes mode, and it will allow me to go ahead and just put my drums in. And basically what will happen is, that's what the beat sounded like. No problem. I mean, it might be somebody used that beat for something, but so there's there it is. And what it does is it automatically makes it makes a clip long enough to fit the next bar in Pro Tools. So if you don't want to actually make a clip, you don't have to make that clip there. You can just go ahead and start putting notes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my off beat here. And again, I'm just double clicking on these, and I've got it set for 8th notes. Maybe let's set it for 16th notes actually and see what's going to happen in here. Let's put a 16th note there. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight all these. If I want to highlight all of them, what I do is I just click on the black key on the piano roll over here. Check this out. See how I can mouse around. If I click on it, it highlights everything in that track. I hold down Command and I click it, and I'm going to pull it down, and it's showing me now how much I'm turning it down in velocity points. Okay, so I hit play. I go ahead and highlight the whole thing I want to loop. Make sure my my timeline follows that selection is turned off, so when I click around it doesn't change it. Sorry, wait, hold on one second. Let's move this. I'm just going to adjust these here. There we go. Boom. Move that there. Cool. All right. Put a clap in. Now, what you'll notice, and this is super annoying, what you'll notice is that when I hold down my Command key and I click on it, it makes really annoying sounds, and it's super loud and it hurts my ears. I don't need to hear all these sounds. Once I've got it in there, I don't need to hear it anymore. If I don't want to hear it, I can just turn that off right here. Click on that, boom, turn that off. So there we go. Let's do this, boom. All right. Oh, the engine? Oh, you're talking about 6th Avenue? I was like looking at your comment. I was trying to figure out what you were talking about. You're talking about 6th Ave. Yeah. You want to see 6th Ave real quick? Here, let's I'll show you 6th Ave. Here you go. Follow me. There's 6th Ave. No. 6th Ave right out that window right there. It gets noisy. Yeah, it does. All right. I was like, what is he talking about? All right, so now we can hear this, and this sounds all right. It sounds pretty good. It actually sounds pretty flat. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit more interesting here. I'm gonna use a thing called quantize, and all these notes are actually quantized. Quantize, what it does is it locks your beats into a grid, and that comes in when you're playing stuff in with a keyboard. You're going to need quantize, but I'm going to use quantize here for something else, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit later in more detail. But I'm just going to go ahead and change this to an MPC style groove, and we're going to use 16th notes. We're going to set this for 59%. There we go. And you hear how now it's got like a swing to it. Let me hit undo on that. That's very straight. And if I turn on my MPC style grid here, cool. Awesome. So there we go there. Let's add in another track here, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to this window here just to kind of show you what's going on. Command Shift in, And we are going to make it stereo. Here, let me just zoom in on this. I'm going to make it stereo, and we're going to go to instrument track. I'm going to give it a name. Let's call it percussion perc. Hit enter. And in here, boom. Let's use boom again. Boom, boom, boopity boom, boopity boom. There we go, there's that. Now in here in boom, see where it says drum kit here? I've got all these different drum kits in here. Let's use the 80, which is an 808 drum kit. And this one here has, it's got some toms. There's a tom. There's a ride cymbal, crash. If I want to change these sounds, I can click right here and I can say, I want a different sound in here. Let's see, what else do we got in here? I don't know. These are all going to be crash cymbals, so I'm just going to leave it where it was. Actually, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to change the decay way down. There we go, so it's like more of a hi-hat. There we go. All right. Cool, cool, cool. You're very limited to what you can do with the boom drum machine. The boom drum machine is like kind of just a basic drum machine. But we got some sounds in here. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to make this one bigger. See how small it is compared to this one here? I can click right here and I can change it to a bigger size. Or I can go down to the bottom. I can click and drag up and down like that. There we go. So that's how I can set that up. Now, remember, we want to put it into notes mode. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it into notes mode down here. And let's go ahead and make the MIDI a little bit bigger there. Make that a little bit bigger. And I can click and drag this up and down, or I can use my arrow keys. See how there's like little arrow keys on here? Or I can click and drag it up and down. The way I do that is hold down Control, Option, and Command at the same time. See how it turns into a hand right there? I can click and drag it up and down. And let's see what sounds we've got. Yeah. Yep. That one there. Oh, and I got there goes some wood. Cool, all right, so we're gonna go in here and put this in. Now, if I wanna drag this around and make a copy, I can hold down Option, like that. Move this around. So I'm going to keep holding down Option, and you can see when I hold down Option, it gives me a little plus key on my finger there. Cool. Drag that. Nice. So let's listen to that. Now, what's happening is this kick drum here is kind of getting in the way. There, you can hear that the tuning is out. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the tuning is out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in here. Whoops, wrong thing. Put this in notes mode as well. Yeah, cool. If I want to drag it around and hear what's happening, yeah. We can, I don't need to hear what's happening with that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this one here, this kick, change that to, let's change this to urban. There we go. You can hear how it's really loud. I'm just going to change my level right here. All right. Adjust some levels. I'll put some more notes in here. What is that called? Oh, the plugin I'm using is Boom. Yeah, it comes with Pro Tools, but you got to install it. And I know that James was hitting me up. He was having some troubles installing it. So if you're having troubles installing it, maybe talk to James or talk to me, obviously. But James, since you just went through it, you probably know some things about it at this point, don't you? Don't you, James? I'm just gonna put this in like this. Ah, okay, cool. Awesome. You reinstall from your cloud, yep. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's add another hi-hat in here. I'm gonna do it separately from everything. Make a new track. Now this time what I want to do is I'm gonna make a MIDI track just to show you what's going on. So I'm gonna go over here to my audio, my track type here, and go to MIDI track. And I want you to notice a couple things. One is that my mono stereo disappears because MIDI, let's go ahead and hit create. If I go back here in my mix window, MIDI is not audio, so it does not have a mono or stereo channel. It just is, it's just MIDI. And actually MIDI doesn't allow you to have instruments on it either. So that's why it's really important that you use an instrument track. When you create your new track, you use an instrument track here, down here, and don't try to make a MIDI track. Not everybody, but a lot of every class, some people get confused about this because it is a little bit confusing. Hey, Tony, we're making MIDI. Why aren't we using a MIDI track? Well, because the instrument track is actually a combination of MIDI and audio. And James says it's called Air Creative Collection Bundle. Download both effects and instruments. Yeah, cool. Actually, at the end of this video, we'll do a little part on making sure that you guys have all this installed correctly, because hopefully you do. If you don't, or if you don't have Pro Tools, don't worry about it. We're going to be in school tomorrow to work on this stuff. So going back to this here, this is a MIDI channel here, and it doesn't have anything. It's not mono stereo. It's just MIDI data. There's no audio on it. So don't create a MIDI channel. You're not going to need to create a MIDI channel anytime real soon. I think the assignment does have you creating a MIDI channel. Maybe I would say don't worry about that part. I'm more interested in you just kind of making a beat, which is what we're talking about right now. But so I'm going to make an instrument track again. I'm going to make a stereo instrument track. And over here is something I haven't really talked about much, but it says samples versus ticks. This is something you should have talked about a little bit yesterday, last week. I mean, when you were having, I think Nick would have been the one talking about that. Samples versus ticks. Basically, use the default. Audio is samples, MIDI is ticks. Instruments are ticks. MIDI and instruments are both ticks. So, and audio is samples. So that's that there. Let's go in here. Let's make this called open hi-hat. There we go. I'm going to delete this MIDI track because we do not need this. Oh, James says, by the way, Ableton Live 10 Suite Education is up for $359 right now because Live 11 is coming out in 2021. Yep, Live 11 is on the way, and it has playlists, which makes me so happy. It's the one thing I've been waiting for with Live. The reason why I use Pro Tools for stuff still when I'm doing my beats. I do everything in Live, but the main reason I still go back to Pro Tools when I'm doing audio stuff is because of the playlists. And now Ableton Live is going to have playlists, and it makes me so happy. And I'm just like, all right, cool. We good. We is good. All right, let's go back over here to open hi-hat. I'm going to put boom on here. Now, an easy way to do this, if I've already been using boom a couple times, I'm going to hold down Option and drag it over. There we go. Oops, don't need to zoom in, but I can keep zoomed in here. Now it's there. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to change the preset. These are different drum beats. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over here and change the drum kit down here. Let's go to dance, 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 dance. And let's go to my open hi-hat. Yeah, that's fine. And go back into my window here, change this stuff around, put it into notes mode, drag it up here like this. Cool. Double click. Let's see. Did that do it? No, I don't. Whatever. All right, so I'm just going to grab this and drag it over. I forget how duplication works with MIDI and Pro Tools. There's a way that I'm doing something wrong. I always do it wrong too because I always forget the best way to do it. Anyway, all I'm doing is holding an Option, dragging this over here like this, and let's hit play. Whoops, there we go. Cool. I'm gonna move this one over a little bit. Put it into slip mode. Move that. Let's see what happens if I move this over. Yeah, I like that. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I didn't change the thingy things. All right, I didn't change my quantize on this. Let's put it back into clips here and open up my quantize window. Option 0 is the shortcut. 16th note, that's what I'm like, why does it sound wrong? There we go. There we go. Cool. Same thing with the open hi-hat, although it's not going to change much. Now, if you want to, you can just keep your quantize window open over here on the side or wherever. You can just put it right there. And yeah, we can just go ahead and click apply anytime we want to apply it to new notes. I got this in here, cool. And let's change this high tom here, this low tom to a different pitch. So I'm going to go into boom, and I'm going to solo this out. Let's change that to a different pitch. There we go. Change the level of this clap. Awesome. Yep. I'm going to change the pitch of my kick drum. And I don't know if y'all can hear how much better that sounds. But if you tune things up, they sound way better. Awesome, okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate these out here, boom, boom. So now I'm gonna have a 4-bar loop, like that. Cool, and I'm gonna go ahead and consolidate these. Now, consolidate is something you may have talked about in, when you're dealing with audio stuff over the past couple of weeks. But it's Option Shift 3 is consolidate. And what this does is it takes the two clips and it joins them together to make a new clip. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Make this one small. Make this one medium. This one medium as well. There we go. Cool. And I'm going to go in here to this one here. I'm just going to go zoom in a little bit. And what I do is I just double clicked it, and the double clicking opens up my MIDI editor window. So it's a new window. We haven't talked about this new window yet. We have the audio, we have the mix window, the edit window, and now we've got the MIDI editor as well. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of these notes by hitting Command M. Command M. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. this over. Put that back. I liked it better before. Cool. Close this window out. And we can see these notes are grayed out because they're muted. Now, a good reason to mute stuff is because if you want to try what it sounds like when it's not there, you can just try it and you can always turn it back on later on. I mute a lot of stuff instead of hitting delete these days because that just kind of it allows me to go back to it if I need to. All right. So let's not take a break, but let's just stop here for a second. I'm gonna hit Command S to save. And we're gonna go into our, over here, this one. And let's open up a couple things here for Pro Tools MIDI, just kind of get this going. So Pro Tools MIDI, the way that your MIDI devices and stuff are set up in Pro Tools, and I don't actually, like I said, I don't have anything set up here right now. I don't have a keyboard in here, but I can grab one from the other room in just a minute. How's the dog doing? Dog is asleep. Okay. Yeah, dog is fine. Doggo. I'm gonna let the dog sleep as long as she's sleeping. Let her sleep as long as she wants. I'm not gonna wake her up. So what we're gonna do here is go up here to the window and go to Setup MIDI, and let's go to Setup MIDI Studio. Now the MIDI Studio is actually going to take you out of Pro Tools and take you into your Apple MIDI setup. In the Apple MIDI setup, we show MIDI Studio here. And the reason we're doing this is because we just want to make sure that everything is connected up properly. Now, I don't have anything connected up, but if you did have some stuff, it would look like this. It would not be grayed out like mine is. You can see all the stuff I have had plugged in the past. Basically, these are all USB devices. So the USB devices are set up here like this, and your computer should just recognize them. So you shouldn't really have to do a whole lot here, but if you're having troubles, then you might want to set things up there like that. I'm just going to quit out of that, come back in over here. And let's look at what else is under the Setup MIDI window. We have MIDI beat clock, we have input filter, and we have input devices. So the beat clock is if I have a external device like a sampler or something like that, and I want to set up my MIDI to tell that to stop or start and what tempo to play. We talked about that a little bit ago. Or I can turn the MIDI beat clock on for that. I don't want to have any MIDI beat clock on for anything, and probably you don't want to have MIDI beat clock on for anything on your end either. So you could probably just leave this alone. If you have a keyboard connected up, your input device here will show it. Now this one shows me my Euphonics MIDI port. That's because for like mixing and stuff like that. So yours may not say this, I don't think it will. But if I wanted to have these off, I can just click the button here to turn them off. And that's for like any kind of devices that you have connected up. If you have multiple keyboards connected up, stuff like that, then it will allow you to turn it on and off. The only reason you would ever turn it off is if you really did not want to use that keyboard with Pro Tools. If you want to use the keyboard with Pro Tools, which you probably do, then just leave the box selected here. You might want to, when you first make a new, when you buy a new keyboard, you might want to go in here and set it here and just see what's, if it's on or off, make sure it's on. And then finally, go to the MIDI input filter. Remember the control change stuff we were talking about earlier that I kind of just brushed over real quick and I said we'd come back to it? Well, that's what this kind of lets you to do stuff. So you can have it record all info, all your MIDI input stuff except for certain things, or you can have it record all or only, or all except certain ones. So I have mine set so it does not record mono aftertouch or polyphonic aftertouch. I do not need aftertouch. Well, I probably do need aftertouch, but not in Pro Tools. I use aftertouch in Ableton Live. And this is, these are all different things here. You can have it record everything except for the notes for some reason, or record everything except for the pitch bend, or record everything except for your aftertouch or program changes, sysx data, all that kind of stuff. And then you have individual things you can set up here as well, like controllers, mod wheel, stuff like that. So you can have all this stuff set up so it can record it or not record it. But basically, if you're having some weird issues and something like you've got like, for example, if you had a data knob that's like a knob or a fader that's always sending the same like data because it's broken and it's like dirty, then you could set that up in here to ignore that particular data number. So it wouldn't be super annoying and it wouldn't be messing with things. I'm trying to see, what is this? Oh, okay, I see what that is. That's a reflection. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel on this because I do not want to change anything. But that's basically it under setup MIDI. The main thing really is your input devices to make sure that your keyboard or whatever you're using is connected properly. And the other thing is for your MIDI studio to make sure everything is connected up in there properly as well. All right, let's go ahead and make a bass line for this. So I get this. All right, so it's going to go ahead and make a bass line in here, make a new track. It's going to be a stereo. It is going to be a stereo instrument track right there. Boom, stereo instrument track. It's going to be in ticks. I'm going to give it a name. Double click here, bass. How low can you go? All right, so in here, I'm going to go ahead and do it the first way I did it before, and I'm going to show you how to do this because I know some of you are probably interested. I'm going to change my grid to a bigger grid number there because I don't need it to be super small. And I'm going to highlight with my selector tool, make sure I'm in grid mode. Highlight with my selector tool the bars that I want to actually record into or program into. And I'm going to use Option Shift 3. What that does is that consolidates a MIDI clip together. That's, I don't know if that's like a super common shortcut that people use or not. That's just something that I like to do, that I've used, that I learned a long time ago. But that's how we can do that. Let me do that one more time. I'm going to highlight the bars that I want to make into a MIDI clip. Let's make a 2-bar loop. And I'm going to hit Option Shift 3 to consolidate it. And then I'm going to double click it. Once I double click it, it shows me the close-up in here, and I can now see this, and it's basically the same as my other window. It's just now it's just only my MIDI. In this window here, we can have MIDI and audio, which I'm going to show you in just a second. What I'm going to do for my bass line is I'm going to use another synth for this, and we're going to go in here, and I'm going to use a synth that you actually have access to. Let's use excuse me, I'm like tired because I'm not getting enough sleep because of this dog. All right, we're going to use the Tal Noisemaker 1. Now, this is a free synthesizer. You can go download it from Tal website. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger. Jumbo. All right. And I'm going to double click in here to get into it. Now it shows me the same window we had up in before, but it's right here on the bass. And I'm going to go in here. Cool. Let's get a preset. Do they have any presets? Oh, load presets. Let's see. Can we load the preset? I do not know where the presets are for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my own synth sound right now. I'm going to go ahead and just start off with a... Where's the cutoff? Here we go. That's for my control. Oh, here we go. Synth 2. There we go. That's what I want in my envelope. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and program in some kind of a thing. Pull this down a little bit. And okay. I'm just gonna do this here, same note. Make sure we're in 16th notes grid. Oop. Let's listen to that. All right, cool. You can hear that tom is getting in the way of things, so I'm just going to have to adjust the pitch of this. There we go. Let's put it up here. Cool. All right. Move this around. Oh, I put on the wrong notes. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm just going to move this stuff here because these notes should be up higher. Awesome. I'm going to loop a different part here, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of this note here, get rid of this note here. All right, because it's MIDI, I can change this around. This is a dumb little line right now. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. Go in here, move stuff. Because it's MIDI, I can change these notes around and make them a little bit more interesting. Let's see, that's that. Boom. Cool. Can you hear how I'm changing things? I can unmute these. All right, so we can't really hear that too well, so let's go ahead and pull this up here. Cool. Now the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and turn off that tom. The tom drum, it'd be fine maybe for the intro or something like that. So let's go ahead and lay this out a little bit. So I'm just grab these, and I'm going to hold down Option and drag them over. Or I can just hit Command D. If they're highlighted, hit Command D. So I've got 16 bars of that. And let's go ahead and move this over so it's like right in here. And for this section here, I'm going to take out my toms entirely. I want to make sure I'm only doing it on the right tracks though. And this is where Pro Tools and Ableton Live get very different in how they deal with these loops. All right, cool. I think that's gonna be, oh, wrong. Okay, that's okay, better there. There we go. Cool, all right, like that. Okay. Very acidy kind of sound. Right here, just keep doing it. There you go. Let's see. Cool. There we go. Put this down an octave, so I'm going to go over here. Now, this is a really cool feature about Pro Tools, and it's actually in. Let's go ahead and look at the notes over here. Pull up the notes. Event operations. So we take a look over here at our event operations. Let's take a look at this here. So you've got some notes in, you've put some stuff in. You want to maybe you want to try it out, different settings and stuff like that. So that's the real-time properties. It's over here kind of at the end of things. It's our real-time properties. The real-time properties apply MIDI changes such as quantize, duration, transpose, all this stuff in real time to the track or clip. So clips will kind of are real time. So that's our real-time properties. And what we can do is if we want to see real-time properties, what we do is we go in here to our Pro Tools and go to our setup, go to the real-time properties, MIDI real-time properties under event, right there, event, MIDI real-time properties, boom, pull that up. And now whatever clip I click on, it'll have these real-time properties. So let's say, for example, I want to transpose this. Now, transpose means to move it up or down to a different pitch. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go by, let's go 1 octave, -1 octave. Boom, I'm going to set, I'm not going to hit anything, I'm just going to look at this. Now, if we go over here, see how I have the little R in there? The little R means that it's got a real-time property on it, that clip. So now I can take these and I can listen. Okay, put it up an octave. Cool. So I can put this in here and I can move it around. Awesome, that sounds pretty good. I'm not going to mess with the quantized duration, delay, velocity, none of that stuff there. I just wanted to use my transpose to kind of mess around with the transpose functionality here, just to kind of change the key of it. You can also do semitones. So if here, let me mute this track. I don't want to hear that one anymore. Do semitones. Awesome. Okay, so we got that there. Now let's take a look at what happens if I wanted to change this sound up a little bit. So this is a sound, it's our bass, our little bass sound here. And let's go ahead and delete these out of here. I like it better without that stuff. What if I want to layer another instrument underneath this? And this is one of the things that's really cool with MIDI is that you can layer instruments underneath and you can take your MIDI data that you create and you can move it all over the place. And this is something that's really cool for this. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to call this one, we're going to rename this one bass high. Hello. We're going to make a new track. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this track. Right click on it and go to duplicate. Just hit yes. Okay, good. And we're going to call this one bass low. There you go. Now this bass low, let's use the same synth. This again, it's a free. Actually, let's use a different synth. Let's see. What's in here that is free? Oh, the Zebralet is free. I've actually never really used the Zebralet one here, Zebralet, but it's a free one. And this is, it's quite a famous, Yuhei is really famous. They're super, super cool stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and click in here and we're gonna go to, let's see, what else we got in here? Let's just make an initialized sound here. And it's got the same things. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the volume down here. I'm gonna solo it out. Nice, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mess around with this here for a second. Let's go ahead and put poly mode into mono mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's see. Take this. Cool. I'm going to make it like that. I'm going to go ahead and take these down the octave. And this will, again, I'm just going to open up my real-time properties, which is option numeric keyed 4. Okay, it's not loud right now. There we go, make that louder. Amp tuning. Let's go to filter here in my effects. There we go. Nice, that sounds good. What is up, Rilla? How you doing, man? Good to see ya, good to see ya. Alarm didn't go off. Oh, that's too bad. I've been there. Let's see, can we put another waveform underneath this one? I don't really ever use this one, so I don't know what we can do with this. Oh, presets. Oh, here we go, basses. Let's see what the presets. Oh, much better. Yeah, just use that one. But let's go over here to modulation. There we go. There we go. Cool. Nice. Now, one thing I want you to notice down here, let's go ahead and stop that. And all these notes are all different lengths here. So I want to make them all the same length. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my other window here and highlight all the clips, which they're highlighted. I'm going to go up here to my event, and go to event operations, which is what we used earlier when we were talking about the quantizing. I'm going to change my duration here. Event change duration right there, boom. And it pulls up my duration over here on the right hand side. Here's my window, it's just already up. I'm just gonna move this over here like this. So let's set all my durations to 0.120, might be. Yeah, it's gonna make things super short. And if I double click, makes them all really short in here. Let's go ahead and try it 240. Yeah, I like 120 better. Nice. I'm gonna go in here back to my sound. And you can see I'm actually messing around with my sound as I kind of mess around with the MIDI clip as well, just to kind of get that sound kind of cool. Let's see what happens if I tune it down an octave. Gets pretty deep. Let's go ahead over here and put it down an octave. Get my real-time properties, option 4, down an octave, one more. Now it's nice and rumbly. Let's put a compressor on this thing to make it sound a little bit better. Just to kind of keep it from being all wacky. And we are going to use the UAD 1176 Rev E in mono. Now I can hear, wow, the output of this is very hot. How do I know the output is hot? It's because even when I push my input on my compressor all the way down, it's automatically compressing it a lot. So let's see if I can get that envelope out. Let's see, is there a main output here? I don't know if there is or not. Let's just turn that down a little bit. Turn this up. Turn my attack up. Cool. There cool. All right, no, that's all right, kid. How you doing, man? Cool, so we got that there. Bring these in. Now I can bounce these together. Now, one thing you may have learned about last week, you should have, but I'm not sure if you got to that point or not, is talking about subgrouping. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to color my drums, and this has to do with organization as well. So I'm going to go down here to my window, window color palette. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Over here, drums, perk, overheads, open hi-hats. Gonna go ahead and color these. I'm gonna color these. Go to tracks and color them my kind of brick orange color that I use. And these are my base stuff. I'm gonna color these red, deep red. These are the colors I use. You don't have to use the same colors, but I do recommend that you color code stuff. As a matter of fact, that is part of your assignment for number 3 or 4, I think it's number 4, is to make sure everything is organized properly. So in here, oh, not that. Let's make it more of an orangey color. There we go. All right, so I'm going to subgroup these, get my drums together. So I'm going to make a new channel, stereo, audio, aux input, right here. Boom, stereo, aux input. Hit OK. And I'm going to give it a name, drum group. There we go. And in here, I'm going to set my input to be bus 1 and 2. Let's use that. And my output of these tracks here to be bus 1 and 2. I'm going to do them all at the same time here, bus 1 and 2. Boom. Now, if I hold down Command and click the S button, solo safe. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and group these basses together. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to show you a different way to do this. If I want to subgroup the track, where's the master fader? Oh man, James, you got me. You got me, James. There we go. There you go. Oh, yeah. Thanks. That would have been rough. My brain is not here today, James, as you can tell. It's hard. I haven't been sleeping much. I got this new baby shark, land shark. Bit my nose this morning. I was like, what are you doing, dude? I mean, it's a tiny little thing. I'll bring it out later so you can see it. It's the cutest puppy in the world. Anyway, so now I got my master fader. So I'm gonna go ahead and highlight both of these. I'm gonna select both of these bass tracks, and I'm gonna hold down Option and Shift and go up to my output on one of them, and I'm just gonna click on it and go to New Track. Give it a name, bass group. Make sure it is stereo, make sure it is an aux, make sure it's next to the current track. Yes, boom, boom, boom. And now I just made a new aux track for me right there. And it set everything to the same buses. So if you learned about buses last week, you probably learned how to do this stuff kind of the classic way, which is also the longer way. That's fine. It's actually really useful to learn it, to how to do that. But we want to make sure I want to make sure that I'm teaching you all the different ways to do things. So now I've got my bass on this subgroup here. You can see I'm clipping everything. Yeah, good. Looking out, James. Let's turn these down. I'll just turn my main output up a little bit. Let me go into OBS and see how loud we are. Yeah, we're doing pretty good in OBS. All right. Nice. Yeah, that sounded pretty good there. I'm going to put a little compression on here on my group track for my drums and my bass here. Let's just go ahead and see what my... No, I don't need the console. That's the wrong thing. Quit. I want to see my UAD meter. And the reason why is because I just want to see how much UAD processing I'm already using. And as you can see, with just one plugin, I'm already using a lot of my DSPs. That's because this audio interface only has one DSP chip in it, not multiple ones. This is my Arrow that I use it for traveling and stuff. So what I'm going to do here is on my drums, let's put a multi-band compressor thing on here. What do we got that's multi-band? Oh, I don't have my iLok plugged in, so I cannot use my isotope stuff right now, but later on I'll be able to do that. Oh, OTT, haha, I could use OTT on my drums. Let's use OTT on the drums. OTT is over the top. Let's see, that'll make my drums a little bit more. And also the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate out my kick drum here. So let me just show you how I can separate all these drums out. What we are going to be looking at here is in our notes. Let's see, it's right over. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Select split notes. It's under. It's in the event operations window. So here, select split notes. This is good for separating my drums out to different tracks per drum sound. And that's what I want to do right now. I want to get all my drums on different tracks. I don't like to have my drums like this. I like to have them all separated out on their own individual tracks, especially because the boom drum machine doesn't really add anything to the drums coming out of one output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into here, and we've got 1, 2, 3 different sounds. That's great. That's fine. I'm going to go to over here. I'm going to select all my clips and go up to my event operations. Event operations is right up here under event operations, and go to select split notes. And right here, I'm just going to bring it to the middle of the screen so we can see what it does here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click all notes, and I'm going to go to a new split. I'm going to go cut to the clip to a new track per pitch. There we go. Yep. I'm going to cut my notes to a new track per pitch, which just means it's going to cut them out of the current clip and put them in a new track per pitch. I'm going to hit apply. Bloop. There we go. And now you'll notice that I've got all these new tracks here, which I have to resize by hand, which is BS. Not happy about that. But up here, got these here, the empty ones. And before you delete this track, I'm going to go ahead and hold down Option and drag this over like this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to Option drag it over to make a copy so it's the same instrument. And now I'm going to delete my original track. Do not need to worry about that. So now here's what happens. Why? Why did that just happen? Hold on a second. Let's see. That works. Oh, it's because it's the OTT thing. There we go. The OTT thing is like way too far. We're gonna put it on, but we're gonna dial it back. There we go. It's a pretty cool little thing. It's like a multi-band compressor thing. There we go. Wait, no, that's not where we go. Yeah, it doesn't have presets in it though, but that's okay. We're gonna mess around with it in just a second. Give me a second here with that. So let's go over here to these here. Nice, okay. I'm gonna turn these down a little bit. Okay, so our kick drum here, I'm gonna label this bass drum, and this one is my closed hat, and this one here is my hand clap. Let's call it hand clap 1. Same thing with my bass drum 1. Now let's do this. Let's do that again, just so I can show you, because oftentimes I have people who are like, "Wait, hold on a second, Tony, you did that too quick," and I know I did it too quick. So we're going to do this a little bit differently here. Well, not differently exactly. I'm going to delete these. I don't need those right now. I'm going to just show you that again. Let's just go over that one more time here. So select split notes, all notes, split notes, cut to a new track per pitch. You can select, I think it starts off on copy, cut a new track per pitch. Starts off on the clipboard. Let's change that to a new track per pitch. Hit apply. Now what that's going to do is it's going to take all my MIDI notes, all these notes that are different drum sounds because they're on different MIDI notes. It's going to put them on a new channel, a new track in Pro Tools per every single pitch. So that's what it just did there. So it's got I've got four tracks in there. 4 different pitches that I was playing. And so I'm going to go in here and make each one bigger again. And these are my toms. This is tom low. Oh, birds. I put a bird feeder outside the window here. Oh, cool. And it's not a pigeon. I mean, there's a pigeon, but there's another bird that's pretty. I put the bird feeder here so my cat can look at the birds. I'll bring my cat in later so he can look at the birds. What was that? That was a tom low. This is a tom high. And this one here was a hand clap 2. And this one here was like, oh, it's a rim shot. There we go. Okay, so I got those. And you notice how I'm labeling them with abbreviations and stuff like that. And the reason why I do that is just so I know I can see it the same way every time. Excuse me. All right, so now it just made all these tracks. I just labeled all these tracks here. Each track has my things on them, but if I play them, we're not going to hear them. The reason why we're not going to hear them is because I still need to put this boom on each one, so I'm going to hold down Option, drag the boom over. Oh, the birds are pretty. All right, drag them over, and this original one that said percussion, I do not need this one anymore because look what happened. When it cut everything to a new track per pitch, it got rid of everything from the original. Now, if you want to keep the original, you just say copy a new track per pitch. But I don't need to do that. I just went ahead and cut it, get rid of those. I'm going to right click, I'm going to delete this track, delete, then we're good to go. So now in here, I am going to solo out my hand clap. There we go, here's my rim shot. Now they're all on their own individual channels, which is kind of awesome because it means that I can adjust, I can make some cool adjustments with them, stuff like that. So for mixing, okay. All right, so I got that there. Now the toms, awesome, sounds good. These percussion dudes gonna go like that. The tom drums are sticking where they are. Oh, wait, the overhead. The open hi-hat. No, this one, these two. There you go. Cool, so if I pull this like this, cool. Awesome, I'm gonna turn this one down here. Now, the real reason why I wanted to do this was because I want to do some of this bass drum, and so there's a couple reasons why you would do this. One is you can change out your individual instruments quicker, you can mix quicker, and then also I can see what's happening quicker on my screen here. I can take a look at the screen. I can be like, oh, okay, here's where this is playing, here's where that's playing, that kind of stuff there. Here's where my basses are playing, here's where different instruments are playing. So it makes my life a little bit easier when I'm glancing at stuff. And if you have a whole bunch of tracks, a whole bunch of clips going on, then every little bit counts. So you want to make sure that you set that up properly like that. All right, so let's go in here. Let's duplicate this bass drum. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to duplicate it. All right, oh hell. Hit duplicate, bloop. Okay, so duplicated that. Now what I'm gonna do in this one here is I'm gonna go ahead and name this one, double click to name it, bass drum 2, and I'm going to go up to my boom here. I'm gonna solo this out. And let's just see what other sounds we've got in here. Ugh. That one's not bad. Okay, let's use this one here. And I'm gonna go ahead and let's use that there. Put these. I'm actually gonna change this one as well to the What's that? Nope, definitely not. It's the same one. Retro. Urban 2. Okay, that's really bassy. Let's go ahead and turn that decay down. But that's not bad. It gives a nice weight to it. And when I go to this bass drum 2 again, I'm going to hold down Shift to open up both of them. And there we go. So if I mute one, let's unsolo. Here, let's just solo. That one sounds pretty good. That's this one down here, I think. It's got a nice weight to it. Okay, so what I might want to do, I've got the basic sounds here going pretty good. So I'm going to cut out some of the low frequencies of this one here, and I'm going to bounce these two drums together. Sounds good. Cool. Awesome. All right, I'm going to subgroup these two drums together as well. I'm just going to shift click them and then go to my output here and hold down Option and Shift. And the Option and Shift, what that does is it makes it so it applies the change to selected tracks. I'm going to go to New Track. I'm going to make this a mono track. Even though those are both stereos, the kick drum should be mono. I'm going to call this one bass drum group. Boom. Now you'll notice that when I did that, it got rid of my pan knobs here because it's just going out to this one mono output. It doesn't need a pan knob anymore. So that's why that happened there. Oops. Put you back. There we go. Let's make this a little bit something happen here with it. Give a little saturation. We'll use the Sans amp that comes with Pro Tools. It's kind of a fun one here. There we go. Cool, right? Not bad. Right, and you can hear how different this is sounding now from the very beginning, right? In the very beginning it was like, oh my goodness, this just sounds like cheese ball, whatever. Now, maybe it sounds cheesy still, but it's like fancier cheese. It's like a nice Gouda cheese instead of just like a Kraft cheese. It's starting to sound like a better cheese. It's like a fancier cheese. Maybe still cheesy. I'm not saying it's not cheesy. You guys have heard me sing. You know I'm pretty good at the cheese. But there's a big difference between like Velveeta cheese product and like a nice cheese from like Murray's Cheese, which is just right down the street here. And I made cheese bread. I made 3 cheese bread for breakfast this morning. It was delicious. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's make these drums pop. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my bass because I've got them subgrouped. I only have to mute this one. Awesome. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this here. And let's adjust the time. I'm going to adjust this here. We can hear how we can adjust this levels here. Cool. Make those drums pop, pippity pop. Here wonder what's happening with that. Oh, wait, you know what's not? I'm listening to this. I'm like, why is my kick drum not being affected right now? There's nothing happening. I'm moving this around. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? The reason why is because I did not have my new bass group here. My bass drum group was not going to my bus. Make that go to the bus. Blam, now. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Right, so now we can adjust this here. Let's see, Joe says, do you like to hide the tracks that are routed to a group after you adjust all their levels? It depends. I mean, I generally don't. You can. I mean, hiding tracks is easily just going over here and just hiding the tracks, but up to you. It's not a bad idea. I just don't so much. I also... There's another way to do this now in Pro Tools, which is a new way to do this. It's like the Ableton Live way of doing things, but it's really up to you. If you don't like looking at the clutter on your screen, then definitely hide the tracks you don't want to look at. And what he's talking about is over here on the left-hand side. If you don't see this window here, you can go down here if you don't see that window, and so you can open it up. Oops, boom. And now we got that window there. And if I want to hide them, I can just click these dots here, and that hides the tracks. And so now I don't have to worry about, oh, the dog woke up. Nope, the dog is going back to sleep. I feel like I'm in a horror movie. Don't wake up the dog. The dog, it'll wake up if you're too loud. Okay, so, like, what was that movie from the late 90s? The Blair Witch Project? I'm so scared. All right. But no, we're safe. We're safe. We can continue to make beats. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Joe, yeah, the bass drum here, bass drum 1 and 2, yeah, you can hide them if you want. It's not a bad idea. It's really, that's a case by case thing if you want to. Oh, don't you worry. You're going to see this dog. The dog. You should follow the dog on Instagram. The dog is going to be Instagram famous. It is the cutest dog you've ever seen. Ever. I mean, it's a beast. It's a scary beast, and you don't want to wake the dog. Yeah, that's what I mean. All right. Anyway, we got this here. Let's go ahead and... Now let's make this hand clap pop a little bit too. And you can see I'm kind of going through, I'm kind of mixing and making the beat as we go here, just because it's a little bit more fun this way. And I think this will help y'all to understand, like, why we're doing all this stuff. But let's make this hand clap, not this hand clap, this hand clap. This one is fine actually. I kind of like that kind of. May turn it down a little bit, but I like that one. This one, however, I want this one to be a little bit more interesting sound on it. So let's do this. Let's send that one to a reverb. I'm gonna have the reverb be inside my drum group. So I'm gonna make a stereo aux channel. I'm gonna call this one drum reverb. Actually, I'll just call it hand clap reverb, so I know what it is. There we go. And I'm going to do a send effect. Now, y'all should have learned about this last week. We're going to be talking about this a lot in the next few weeks while you're with me, and then when you're in mod 3, mod 4. But your send effects are very, very important. Now, I just made this hand clap reverb. I'm going to go ahead and do the routing right now. I'm going to send it to bus 1 and 2. What is bus 1 and 2? That's my drum group. So it's going to go into my drum group. I'm going to set it up with a reverb on here on my insert. And I'm going to use the reverb that comes with Pro Tools. There's actually a few that come with Pro Tools, but the one that we want to use right now is the Deverb here. I wish there was some way I could put like a guest list up for this bird feeder, because I don't want pigeons hanging out on my thing here. I want fancy birds coming in here, and I wish there was some way I could get like a bouncer or something to be like, "Yo, are you on the list?" And the pigeons would all be like, "No," and then he'd be like, "Get out." Anyway. So I got my gain here, my room. So let's go ahead and send this reverb. Let's send the hand clap to the reverb. The way we're going to do that is on the reverb, we are going to set up another bus here, bus 3 and 4. And my hand clap, we're going to go to send over here. Not the output, but the send. And that's going to be bus 3 and 4. Bippity, boppity, bloom. So we got this, and now let's check this out. As I turn it up, you hear that reverb come on. Okay, so that's the reverb. Now I want to just show you something real quick about the reverbs. Not all reverbs are created equal, and I want to prove that to you. This is the reverb that comes with Pro Tools. It's not bad, it's okay, but you're pretty limited in what you can do with it. Let me just show you Valhalla. Valhalla reverb. Let's go to Valhalla vintage for room, whatever. This is Valhalla room. This is a $50 reverb. This one here, the Valhalla, it makes, start off with reverbs. They also make some really cool delays and stuff like that. And they actually have this really neat free one called Supermassive, which is great, weird into But, so the Valhalla reverb here, let's just go in. Let's go into some presets in here. Where's my presets? My presets are right here, over here. And let's go in here to the DIN. The DIN's pretty good ones, and we can all these different ones here. But actually, no, let's not use that one. This one has a lot more things in here, but let's. Somebody the other day was asking me about this, that pre-delay. This is what the pre-delay does. It just makes it like sound further away. So if you don't use any pre-delay, it's like that. Cool. That's kind of neat. Awesome. Does Valhalla do reverse delays? I don't know if it does, but if you want a I mean, you maybe, so you may be asking about the wrong thing here. Like reverse delays is actually a special effect that you have to do by recording the delay and then flipping it backwards is one way to do it. There are some things. No, you're fine, Swift. I mean, I'm sorry it keeps cutting out, but you'll be able to watch this again later. But like for example, if we go over here into deverb here, there's this thing called nonlinear. Here, let me just do this. And this one can get us a gated delay, but a reverse delay is not the same thing as a gated delay. So here's, so we can use this nonlinear here. And it's like a gated kind of delay. But it's not exactly a reverse delay. A reverse delay is really where you record the delay and then you flip it and as audio. You actually record it as audio and then flip it around. So it's not, I think what you're looking for is something that no delay actually does. It's like a special effect, which I'm not going to show today, but I will show, actually maybe, we'll see what happens. See what happens with the dog. All right, the dog gives us time. Maybe we can get back to it. All right, so, but just listen how smooth this Valhalla sounds. Oh, it's so good. We got different crossovers and stuff like that. We can adjust stuff here. Oh yeah, hear that? Sounds cool. Yeah, let's keep that up like that. Yeah. Nice stereo spread on there. Now let's hear it without the reverb. Meh. Very meh, right? Yeah. How dope is that? Sounds so much better, right? So much better. Oh, by the way, this OTT multiband is a free plugin from Xfer Records. Xfer is, oh wow, I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. They have a few free ones. They make Serum. Serum is dope. I clicked on it twice. Cthulhu, Nerve. Do they even have, wait, do they still, LFO products? Do they still have it? Maybe they don't still make it anymore. Hold on, let's see if there's a way we can get it. X for OTT download Mac or Windows, whatever. There we go, free VSTs. Oh, is that, can we get it from here? Oh, plugin boutique. Add to my downloads. Well, that's, I'm actually not sure. Why don't you get out of here? Side window. Ugh, gross. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, if you just go to their, yeah, here, there's some good free one here. Check these out. There you go, guys. Boop. Boop boop. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Xfer Records. Alrighty then. Did Sonny ever pop in? Sonny, are you here? Or Tamelia or Johnny? Are y'all here? I don't have you marked as here right now. Let me know if you popped in at some point, because maybe I just missed it. All right, because I think we're rocking with a full house right now. Pretty full house, which is good because this is important stuff. All right, so, but you can hear a big difference in how that sounds. No reverb at all. Pull that reverb up. Awesome. And then the other thing we can do, if we wanted to, is we can throw a sidechain compression on this bass drum group here. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Sidechain compression, what you do is you pull up a compressor, the dynamic limiter D3, and I'm gonna set my key input for 5, bus 5. And for my bass drum group, oh, what's up, Tamelia? Over here, my send out of my bass drum group, I'm gonna set that for bus 5, the same bus, like that. And I'm gonna turn it up to 0. I'm gonna push pre, and I'm gonna turn on my key input. That's super, super important. I'm gonna go over here and solo out my bass. And my kick drums. Now what's cool about this is, wow, that's a bit of delay on there. Goodness, I'm not into that. Oh, maybe, hold on, let's see if I can cut that delay out by doing this. That's even worse. Goodness. Why are we getting such a delay there? Hold on, let's see. Delay compensation, what's going on here? Oh, it's because of this over here. Ah, and why is my delay compensation not working correctly? Okay, well, it's a little bit wonky. You can hear that. I'm I'm not a fan of that. Whatever, here, let's not listen to that. Cool. So what I wanted you to hear is, oh, here, let's save this. There, wait, no. What I wanted you to hear is how that bass gets out of the way. Here, I think, here, if I put it on here, I hit pre, and then I, yeah, there we go. Hear how that kick drum is getting the bass out of the way? Yeah. Cool. And you can put your threshold way down. Bring that down. Now I'm going to bring my threshold back up because that's way too far. Cool. Turn my ratio down a little bit too. Okay, now when I put my kick drum back into things, I'll let you hear my kick drum. Cool. When you hear everything, what that allows me to do is make it so my bass drum is not, well, it's not, sidechain, yep. So what it does is allows me to make it so my kick drum is not overpowering everything in the song just to make it heard above the bass. So, cool. All right, let's go back to our MIDI stuff over here. We got our MIDI tracks in here, and let's go ahead and just put in one more thing. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight all these clips, and you can see that what we learned in the first week and we were doing with all the stuff like the fades and all that stuff, working with clips, it's important everywhere. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go ahead and, all right, get our bass low part here. I'm gonna duplicate that over here. And let's loop this section here. I'm going to turn these off here. Yeah, I like that. Oh wait, no, not that. Wait, hold on. That's not what I want. I wanted the hi-hats, not the side stick. Or what do y'all like better? Yeah, it sounds pretty good. And on these over here, and we're going to use this for automation as well. I'm going to use the same track for automation. So we're going to talk about the automation stuff later on, but I'm going to go in here to this, and let's go ahead and get the automation, get our cutoff here, put it in our automation area, which again, I'm going to talk about all this stuff on Wednesday. And we're going to go down here to our automation, and we're going to just get this, boop, 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 highlight this, drag it down. Yeah. So we can and we can make it fade up over time. Cool. And let's put a high part in here. Go in here like this, Command Shift in to make a new track, make it stereo, make a MIDI, an instrument track right there. Blam. Let's go over here to our instrument and give it a name. Let's call this one Synth perk. I want it to be like a little perky boop type of sound. Go over here to my insert here and go to, let's get a, what instrument should we use? Let's use something from Contact that y'all actually have access to. All right, and here. So in here, I have a ton of Contact things, which you do not have access to. So let's just kind of ignore, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Move along. Okay, so our factory selection here has this in here. Let's go to creamy drops. There we go. There's the creamy drops. And I'm going to go to this window again. And let's make this bigger down here. And put this into notes mode and just listen. Yeah. Cool. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna do it right here on this window here. That's me. Make it bigger so I can see what I'm actually doing because I'm blind. I'm not blind. My eyes are actually pretty good, except now I haven't had to wear glasses my whole life, and I just had to start wearing glasses when I hit like 42. Like, oh, I am getting old. Okay, cool. So we got that there. Let's do that here. Duplicate. See what that sounds like. Yeah, cool. Move that over. Oh, man. Nope. Nope. Can never remember what the shortcuts are. For, okay, never mind. I just click and drag. And I think maybe actually this one is probably a little bit too far, too much stuff going on over here. So let's put that over here as the next section, right? I think it's just too much stuff going on in that section. And I like the automation up. Unmute these. Let's get our hand clap. Cool. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, let's move this over here. Let's put a filter on that kick drum. So we're going to go ahead and put the filter here at the end, and we're going to use an EQ, one band. And I don't want to do anything fancy with it, so we're just going to put this high pass filter. Yep, cool, and I can just bypass that and unbypass it. We can set this as automation as well. Why are we not? Okay, there we go. Boom, like that. Here we go. Cool, and we'll go ahead and quantize that. Remember, we put that fancy quantize on here. There we go. And if we wanted to get even fancier, remember, we can take these and move it around like that. I'm not trying to record. Come on. We don't want it up that far though. What we want to do is we want to bring it down, and remember we can do that with our event operations, our real-time properties, or we can do it with regular event operations, which is transpose. Transpose changes the pitch of things, and we'll just put it down by a couple octaves. Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll go over here like this. we'll go back to this whole section over here. I'm just going to drag down over this. Make sure this one here is in Eclipse mode. I'm going to hit Command C to copy all that stuff. I'm going to hit Command V to paste. Oh, but I got to have it across everything, so I got to slide down here because we're not in Ableton Live. And let's zoom into this one here. Let's get rid of a couple things, and then we'll call it a day. How are we doing over there? Dog's okay. Cat. I can see the cat over here, though. It looks suspicious. My girlfriend said, I don't want to have a zoo. And I said, it's not a zoo, but it's a zoo. All right. Take these here. Boop. Awesome. Let's see what that sounds like. Cool, and we just have to make sure that kick drum cuts in and out. So go over here to our aux track, go to our master bypass on here, and make sure that we are not bypassed. Turn the bypass off, and then turn on for this section here. Boop. Cool, and we come. Awesome. Cool. So now we got a little thingy going on here. Oh, I forgot about these guys. We don't need them. We were past you. I moved on. Put this over here. Yeah, cool. We can listen to all this stuff. Cat's looking at me like he's hungry. Are you hungry, cat? Hear that cut-off sweep? It's very abrupt. This might be a good time to talk about reverse reverb. Cool. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a little. Let's get rid of some stuff in here for real quick. So one of the things when you're doing transitions and stuff, and we can do this with audio and MIDI. I'll show you how to do this in MIDI. And actually, I'm going to delete all this right here. We don't need this anymore. I don't need to look at that. If I want, I'll just grab it from somewhere else. I'm going to delete this last note here. And as you can see, you know, this stuff works the way it works because it is MIDI and not audio. Cool. Okay, so let's put a reverse filter in there. And let me see, there's a couple ways we could do this. One, we can feed the signal to the filter, to a reverb more and more and more, which is something that a lot of people have been doing recently or over the past couple of years. But let's just put a full-on reverse filter in. Let's put the reverse filter coming from this percussion synth right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little housekeeping first. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this and drag that back. And what I did was I just grabbed this first note, right? So the first note there. And what we're going to do is we're going to send that first note to a reverb. So let's go ahead and put a reverb in here. It's aux stereo, synth reverb. I probably won't keep this track later because I'm just using it for this one effect, but whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and put a reverb in here. And let's use since we're doing this, let's use a little bit of a fancy-ish reverb. This is one that comes with Native Instruments Complete package, this RC48. It's based on the Lexicon. And let's see what's over here in sound effects. No, probably not sound effects. Let's go to, let's go to large. The command shortcut is Option 0 to pull up your shortcut, your quantize thing. Option 0 pulls up the quantize thing. So in here, let's go to Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm just gonna throw this on here. See what it sounds like. Let's send it over to synth reverb. Track synth reverb. Boop. Okay, cool. Turn this up. Okay, first of all, you stopping. There we go. Okay, we can make this a more interesting reverb. Let's listen to a few of these. Okay. That sounds pretty good. You know what's a cool reverb for this? Actually, here, we'll do it first with this one. And so what we're gonna do here, there's a couple ways to do this. I'm gonna show you this way actually, you know what? I'll show you a different way. First, let me use a different plugin for this because I'm gonna put you right here and like that. And oh wait. Let's see if I can actually use this plugin. I don't know if I can because I don't have my iLock plugged in right now. It's in the other room. Where are we? We are looking for Eventide Black Hole. Black like your soul. I think this is connected to my iLock. So I think it's going to give me a warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Yes, I do. It's in the other room. Ugh, not worth it. Yes, I know. All right. So we're going to go back to this one here, and I'll show you some cool stuff. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. I got you. You. The dog keeps changing positions. I'm not sure about that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna record this. So we got this reverb going on, so we're gonna record this without the original sound in it. And there's a couple ways to do this. Let me show you this way first. We're gonna do this. We're gonna call this one Syn Reverb Bounce, or better yet, you know what? Let's call this one Syn Reverse Reverb. I think that's a better name for it. Syn Reverse Reverb. And we're going to grab the audio from this reverb here, synth reverb. So what we're going to do is we are going to send it to the one. Yes, yes, y'all. Output is going to go to that. Cool. Run in, record. We can hear it. Great. And now we're just going to record it. So I'm just going to make sure everything's okay. Hit 3. Recording it. We are recording. Great. Now, if you wanted to, actually, let's stick a Maxim plugin on here. Let's. Oh, you know what we could do? We could use that OTT plugin. Where are you? You done with OTT? Yeah. You know me. What? Wow, okay, so that is crazy. It's an interesting sound. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, so this is neat. So here, check this out. Wow. Nice, so that just smashes it. It's just smashing it, it's like over compressed. So let's record that. And see how long that lasts, right? So obviously, if you're doing this all the time, you'll get, you know, much faster at this stuff. You know, don't think that it's always going to take this long. It's not always going to take this long. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm, you know, obviously I'm also explaining stuff to you and everything. So I'm just going to grab that, move that back over there. I'm going to hit mute on this bad boy because we don't need to hear that. And let's on this. Sweet. I don't need the beginning, but you know, just cut it wherever you feel like cutting it. But there's a good place. Let's just move that. What I'm going to do now is I am going to get the end. I'm going to quantize the cut right there. So it's at a bar. So it's a 4-bar build up. And I'm going to go up to my audio suite, other, reverse. Bum ba da bum. Over here's my reverse. Go in here and go to render. And now it just, I said, render. Why are you not rendering the reverse? Are you rendering? Oh, you might be rendering it, just not. No, you are. Why are you not putting it right into the track? That's weird. Okay, that must be a feature that Pro Tools added, which I guess makes some kind of sense, but not for what I'm trying to do. Let me clear these out of here. Delete them. Yes, I know they'll be gone forever. All right. Now, where are we going to put that? I'm going to put it right over here. Drag that reverse. Boop. There it is. That's an extra 2 seconds, which I don't need. Sweet. Now, let's listen. No, not to you. Let's listen to you from over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we hear this reverse reverb. Cool. And what you may want to do is add in some like delays and things like that in there to make it a little bit more interesting on the side. We can also do the thing that they're doing in a lot of dance music, which is take this one here and just kind of like having a reverb kind of grow up. Turn you off. Let's do the same thing here. Let's make this not so big though. Actually, no, wait, whatever. And we'll just we'll automate the send from this one here. Synth reverb, bus, synth reverb. Yep, cool. Oh, I heard the dog again. Frightening, frightening. And let's see. Let's get over here to our synth reverb level. Yep, send. Here we go. Send them out and then turn that down. Actually, let's put that back to 0. And let's see what it sounds like. No, actually, no. Put that back down to 0 like this. Boop. Boop. Why is that not? Oh, we're here. Oh, it's muted. That's why. Like, why are we not hearing that? Now we can see there's more, yeah. Whoops. Still not really hearing it much. It might be because this OTT was turned off. Let's turn the OTT back on. The shortcut for that is Command. Yeah, oh, I know why we're not hearing it. There we go. There we go. Turn you back off. Oof. Yeah. So this is something, okay, now it sounds too far. Too far. Way too far. Cool. There you go. So that's like a little bit of that there. We need to stop and take a break here. Regan says, "How you recording sound?" It says, "Yo, how you recording sound in your DAW? I'm trying to record video with OBS Studio and sound not working." My advice is, sounds like you're trying to do too much with your computer right now. I mean, I'm recording the video myself, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube. You know that. If you are Regan Glass. Are you Regan? I'm assuming you're Regan. If you're not Regan, then I don't know how you're doing it. But I mean, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, so I don't think you need to be worrying about recording the video and the audio at the same time with this, though. 'Cause without knowing what computer you have, I can't really help anyway. There's like a lot more to that question. Oh, you are Regan. No, you're Regan. Okay, so I don't know who you are. Yeah, so I don't know. Sorry. All right, I think that's a good stopping point, and moving over to Zoom, because I want to. There's some more things I want to talk about, but I want to talk about with y'all in Zoom because I know there's a lot of questions and answers that I need to give and we need to talk about here. So let's do this. It has been an hour. It's been an hour and a half. It's 12 o'clock. Sorry, it's been 2.5 hours. Hold on. Let me stop my recording here. There you go.